Hello guys, Nevada Cario here. So I guess today is the 20th anniversary of Septembre 11. So I'm trying to be careful with these words because I really don't want that stupid info card. Because YouTube knows that not a lot of people believe in the official story of 9/11. And for a little mini walk, they'll probably get upset with me if I left, but so be it. It's kind of a beautiful area. Maybe I can show you this area of the street, probably because nobody will even find out much anyway, so I'll just do you guys a favor. Since this isn't my street, it's good. We're all good. So yeah, guys. Honestly, we honestly, like, who even knows what happened in that day? Probably a lot of psyops. I don't even remember what I did. Like, I was like a little baby when that happened, but I'm not gonna say thoughts and prayers because I'm like, come on. How many times do we have to keep saying thoughts and prayers so many times? Like, we don't even know what goes on into these psyops in the world trade. You know what? Honestly, people are debating how the buildings actually fell, how they actually collapsed. People question, people have blamed. I've heard, people will always try to point, it was the Jays, or hey, it was this, or it was Saudi Arabia, you know. Like, they're trying to put the blame on, and we don't really know what goes on. All I can say is pretty much of a psyop. I know RFB is trying to say that it was a controlled demolition. Hey, even my grandpa doesn't even believe in the official story much either, even though he's in on it with other stuff. He doesn't really. I think he's skeptical of 9/11. I think they had a Russian person talk about a video. He was watching a video of a Russian man explaining about the buildings, the structures, and all that stuff. Hope YouTube doesn't try to take this video down. I'm skeptical of the event, but I'm not going to confirm about what happened, on that day. So, pretty much of a psyop. I'm not going to talk about 9/11 much, but probably by October 1st of 2021, I'm going to be making a video about Route 91. Even up until the 10th anniversary of what really happened on that Vegas. I think there are people that have questioned about the Vegas incident a lot. Like, these incidents, it's honestly, I don't even think it's that crazy. It is kind of crazy, but it's not crazy to question it. But I'd rather not say that this is what happened. I'm not trying to do that in this channel. I like to call myself a truther, but I could call myself more of a skeptic. Like, you can't just say words without the facts. And honestly, even if mainstream media talk, we have the facts, you're fake news, you're misinformation, I could care less. I'm a skeptic. It pisses me off that people are pretty much sheep. I will like to say that I think there are a little more people waking up, even though it's not perfect. I do think people are kind of tired of their government taking away their freedoms and liberties. And maybe liberty is losing and it's kind of winning, in my opinion. So I understand if things don't look that great. They're not great in this world. They're just not. But at the same time, I do believe there will be a rise in liberty, even though we're losing them. The goal is non-compliance. I forgot to also mention, I want to make a video also about, so people talk about how we're the only country that has the constitutional right to keep and bear arms. That's pretty much couldn't even be farther from the truth, you know. Mexico, I think Guatemala, I believe. And even recently, the Czech Republic, you know, 2021. I think it became amended in the Constitution, the right to keep and bear arms, even though there are restrictions, you know. Now, I don't know if it's a right or it's still a privilege, even though with their licensing system there in the Czech Republic, I mean, I wouldn't mind living in the Czech Republic just for gun rights, you know. Gun privileges at least, not rights, you know. Even here in the United States, even though people talk, oh, there's no gun control. Yes, there is. There is gun control. Your background check, FBI instant background check, but it doesn't last for a day. Well, I mean, there's like 300 million Americans. And even then, it's like a 3-day waiting period if your background check doesn't get resolved well in one day. And they have to recheck it again, and then you could be denied. If you have been like misidentified, you know. These gun laws are ridiculous, you know. Honestly, I think gun control is BS, you know. Now, I used to be kind of scared. I used to kind of feel a little bit like I would feel kind of embarrassed and ashamed to talk about gun rights. But now in 2021, in 2020, I feel like who cares anymore? The media keeps showing the mass shootings. Oh, look at that! Like, it's better not to think about it. You know, it's not. I mean, as offensive as this sounds, none of them are my family members. I would be if it was my family members. But at the same time, I understand people are like, oh, this is a hoax, this is fake, it was not real. It does, like, they want to act like all of it is because they take the Smith-Mutton Act of 2013 seriously to think like they're all fake. It's pretty much farther from the truth. We just don't know what really happens, you know. I mean, we had one time somebody bring a gun to my middle school, and then in my elementary school we heard like gunshots, you know, outside of her. Since the school was in a neighborhood, you know, I don't think it had anything to do with the school. I think it had to do with whatever happened in that house, you know. I thought those were fireworks when I heard gunshots, you know. And then somebody's like, no, those are gunshots. Then everybody just started running. I guess walking fast or running to like the school, you know. We weren't really like in danger, but because of us hearing gunshots was like a precaution, you know, for the school. So that's why we ended up like, you know, we ended up like getting like, and then I guess we probably did resume classes when the thing was resolved. Probably in 1 hour we probably went back to normal. And like I said about middle school, somebody brought it to school, although they didn't say anything to us and they locked us down. But I guess they wanted to avoid a panic, you know. And then I realized it when they gave us a paper message. You know, they handed me a paper, you know, about it when that happened. I don't even remember what year was that anymore. It was definitely during my middle school years. So, yeah. Had to bring some of these topics out, you know. The only truth that I can say is absolutely this bring us in the Afghanistan and Iraq war. Now, I understand people are upset about the withdrawal from Afghanistan, but at the same time, we shouldn't have been in Afghanistan in the first place. So people talk about how they're patriotic and America, because we're gonna save the world. Pretty much farther from the truth, you know. If not us being in Vietnam and like Iraq, like that's nothing even patriotic. That's nothing nationalistic. If not, that's probably the most neocon globalist thing I've ever even seen in my life. You know, we shouldn't have been there in the first place. But I guess you could feel bad for the Taliban trying to disarm, citizens from defending themselves because they're saying we need law and order. You don't need them. Because that's pretty much history repeating in so yeah, maybe it did sound kind of stupid. Oh, that's stupid. Why would you say that about governments? You should never even trust your government either way. Even if it's like a non-tyrannical country, they're still tyrants in the form, just like Justin Trudeau. I think I've come to realize that Canada isn't really that great for gun privileges. We're not going to say rights. I've realized that it's a lot better in the Czech Republic or even Italy, believe it or not. But the Czech Republic, so you can get one for defense, shall issue countrywide, nationwide there in the Czech Republic. So yeah, I know you guys only wanted to hear me about 9/11, So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, hit a like and subscribe. Never stop fighting for liberty. Peace.